A must-do activity when visiting Cuxhaven is a walk along the bottom of the Wadden Sea during low tide to the island of Neuwerk. The Wadden Sea stretches along the coasts of the Netherlands, Germany and Denmark and is part of the North Sea. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and during low tide it turns into a flat area with mud. The area exposed during low tide is very large, and you can actually walk to the island, which is about 9 kilometers from the town of Salenburg, a small suburb of Cuxhaven. We rode our bikes from Bremerhaven about 40 kilometers, left our bikes on the shore and started walking. You should check the tide schedule in advance to start the journey when the water level is at its lowest. Don't forget to apply sunscreen, change into appropriate footwear, and you're ready to go. Some people walk barefoot, but if you don't like walking barefoot through deep mud and rocks, it's better to wear something that fits tightly on your feet. During low tide, you can see a lot of marine life on the seabed. For example, the mounds you see are created by lugworms. I remember our fishermen on the White Sea used these worms as bait. There's a well-trodden path to the island, and you can see groups of people with guides in the distance. They walk leisurely in one direction. If you move very quickly, you might be able to return immediately, but then there won't be time to explore the island and admire its flora and fauna. Most people go one way and then take a ferry back to Cuxhaven or wait for the next low tide, sometimes staying overnight at a hotel on the island. The path meanders a bit, but cutting corners is usually not possible because you'll encounter too deep and fast-moving water or very muddy areas. Horse owners, as usual, don't clean up after their horses. As a result, in hot summer days, beaches are periodically closed for quarantine when some contamination is found in the water. The most dangerous spots are where the streams have the strongest tidal currents, but during low tide, they are passable without any problems. These can be seen clearly on the map, and the path runs between these channels and streams which resemble rivers. They are called priel here. Near these priels, you can find unique wildlife, such as oysters. The tourist flow is active and diverse, especially on weekends. People walk on foot and use various types of carriages. If someone doesn't make it all the way from the island to the mainland, they usually won't drown. Guides monitor the route, and there are special cages where you can take refuge and wait out the high tide. You won't drown, but you will be fined. However, despite all the safety measures, accidents do happen because people tend to underestimate the power of tidal currents and overestimate their own abilities. Here's what your sandals can look like after such a hike, so choose quality footwear. On the island, we strolled a bit, ate at a restaurant, and waited for the ferry during high tide, which then took us to the port of Cuxhaven. From the port, we took a free bus back to our bikes on the beach in Salenburg. We watched the sunset and then rode back 40 kilometers to Bremerhaven. That was our journey.